After more than 70% of Seattle residents voted to support two school levies a few months ago, you'd think our education system was in good shape, right?
What role does government play?
Not quite.
The legislature has continually made progress on fully funding education, and this bill is the next necessary step in that process.
Despite the governor's positive spin, for the fourth straight year, the legislature did not fully fund our K-12 schools, as ordered by the Supreme Court in the McCleary decision.
I think we're going to have to take a look for the whole state as a restructuring of our tax system.
The court's deadline for a fully funded education system is 2018, which means the two-year budget that lawmakers will set next spring can't kick the problem down the road again.
The City of Seattle's government and the school district can find new ways to collaborate.
Through his role as Seattle mayor, Ed Murray is adding pressure to our education system, asking for improved results for students, especially children of color.
It's going back to that funds of knowledge that we were talking about.
His upcoming Education Summit seeks to find some answers in a school district where about 87% of white students graduate high school on time compared to 71% of black students. The city is also trying to nail down some answers on another major issue, homelessness, with an investment of $50 million this year.
We clean up garbage, we don't clean up people.
But the practice of cleaning up or sweeping unauthorized campsites without having other options to offer the homeless has raised several concerns.
There needs to be more family shelters in Seattle, Washington, period.
And even where the city has reached out, with city-run encampment sites, for example, there's been some resistance from critics who say camps attract criminals who prey on the homeless and neighboring residents, too.
Our hope is that the city is finally starting to understand that this is a multifaceted problem that is going to require a multifaceted solution.
Police reform is another major problem city leaders say we'll soon see some progress on.
When officers used force, it was done in an unconstitutional and excessive manner nearly 20% of the time.
The federal consent decree process from the Department of Justice to overhaul Seattle police practices started 4 years ago. After continued protests and continued negotiations with the Seattle Police Union, city leaders say a revamped SPD with added civilian oversight will be unveiled soon.
Things will be better when a wide array of diverse communities feel a greater degree of confidence in the process.
Our intent as we go through this process this time is to make sure the culture is changed.
No way! The city wants to change the culture of work in Seattle as well, with potential legislation this summer on how much notice part-time workers should get for changes to their schedules.
It's just really hard to live your life when, your priority is, what's my schedule, how many hours do I have?
After raising the minimum wage and mandating sick and safe leave, the City Council wants a policy that respects employees and doesn't stop employers from making money.
My goal is that the policies that we set don't hurt business, but that make them more productive.
It hasn't been a productive first year for the Pronto bike share system in Seattle. Its 500 bikes had fewer than 400 rides per day.
Continuing to fund Pronto is a bad idea.
Yet, despite public criticism, the City Council has decided to rescue Pronto, buying out the system for $1.4 million, and intent on getting this new transit option right, with additional city scrutiny in the future.
Otherwise, I worry that we kind of poisoned the well for bike share in Seattle for a long time.
There is nothing more that I want in my life than to be able to go to a Supersonics game again with my mother. Thank you.
And it's been a long wait for pro basketball fans to have something to cheer about in Seattle, but that may soon change. The City Council could vote as soon as late April whether or not to vacate a street in the Soto neighborhood as requested by investor Chris Hansen, a decision that would pave the way for Hansen's new sports arena proposal.
Okay, let's go solve the problem.
That's one of many issues on a long to-do list for local and state officials, who, like a lot of us in the spring, are trying to weed out some big problems before they grow out of control.